Yeah, bonnete ke gore bontsi ba rona we don't have spaces to talk about the things that we don't like about other people, especially family members, the things that you don't like about your family. Do you understand? So for the very longest time, I've always wished that there was a norm and a culture whereby people will just sit around a table and have a very safe space to talk about the things that they don't like about one another. You understand? So unfortunately, we grew up with no privileges of being honest. Because of being honest about your feelings, your ideas, your opinions, to other people it might look like you're being disrespectful and you're being rude, and it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't really have to be like that. So I think it will be a very dope thing, for families to start to adopt this culture of creating a very safe space for people to just talk. So I kind of like made a couple of notes here to remind me about the things that I would like to talk about. So I kind of like made a research, and I asked ChatGTP, telling the ChatGTP about the idea I have, So I said something like, I would like to have a round table with my family. Do you understand? So I wanted to hear what will ChatGTP say. So what it says, like, what do I call him? Okay. He said, that's a powerful and brave idea. Having a family roundtable to talk openly about things that bother you can lead to healing, deeper understanding, and stronger relationships. But it can also go very wrong if it is not structured carefully. Here's how you can do it in a healthy and constructive way. So what I liked from this paragraph is, like, he said it can lead to healing, because I feel like there is so much that we haven't healed from. We still have grudges, we smile with people we know deep inside, they've done some things that they didn't, things that, hurt us, and those people probably didn't know the things that they've done, but we know, and we've kept those feelings and we have lived with that. Do you understand? So I think it will be nice for people to have such safe spaces to talk, like if space in fela sa gore we again bona man, no one is gonna take an offense, right? A re bueng fela, gore, what, nna I get this ka wena, I get this and this and this and that, and you also tell me the things that you don't like about me. Do you understand? And whatever I say, you shouldn't hold it or use it against me. You shouldn't use it against me, So it's like we have this round table, we set a time, it's like we talk. I'm like, I don't like this about you, I don't like this about you, you behave like this, wah. You have this tendency, if I say this, you like to, to talk about it, and you do it maybe harmlessly, like you think that maybe there's nothing much, but because of the kind of person I am, I don't like people to know the things about me that maybe I didn't tell them. Do you understand? I want people, if they want to know anything about me, it has to come from me. So like, you raise your issues, you raise all the things that bother you, you know what I'm saying? And after that round table, all the things that have been said are the things that we need to keep on thinking about. But after the round table, we shouldn't now be angry at one another because of someone says something that you found it to be very offensive, right? So yeah, on church GTP, let's talk about healing, let's talk about deeper understanding. Totally speaking, I don't think that we understand one another. I don't think that we understand our family members. I don't think we understand our relatives, our cousins, our brothers, our sisters, our aunties, our parents, grandparents. Do you understand? We don't understand one another. We don't even understand our friends. We don't even understand our colleagues. We don't even understand our neighbors, because of we are not honest with one another. There is no a space whereby people can come and criticize and be honest. And this thing is not a thing that whereby people should use it to harm others, but sometimes for me, I think the most healthy thing we can do for one another is to sit down and speak about all the things we don't like about one another. Man, it's something I've craved and I've longed for, something like that. Do you understand? It's like, how about we sit down and talk about all the things we don't like about one another? Do you understand? So this will help us to have a deeper understanding. You will understand someone else better because of based on what they have raised, based on the issues they've established. So you can be able to work on those things. Do you understand? So we don't understand one another, we misunderstand one another. That's why it's easier to hate one another, and intentionally, because of we misunderstand, you miss it. You understand? And strong relationships, we don't have strong relationships. Do you understand? It can be a family, relatives, and whatever, and you'll find out that this cousin is more closer with that cousin, and that cousin is more closer. We are not closer together. Do you understand? We are not unified together. It's like we have our favorites. Do you understand? Because of we have weak relationships, and this is based on not understanding. Do you understand? I don't understand my cousins. Do you understand? And I wish we could sit down and have a chat, an honest chat, and talk. Do you understand? And talk about, like, I like to be in a situation whereby you tell a person, you know what, from my point of view, from how I see you, and I inagana wa bona o fitla mo tabeng e o behave sona a ke nagana o frustrated, ke nagana wa fake, ke nagana you too much. And then I go bela go, no, you may see me as if I'm faking things, I'm being too much and whatever, but the reason why I'm like this is like this. And then you go back to having a deeper understanding. And then I'm telling you, man, once we can achieve something like that, we will have very healthy relationships. Like we will have, I guess this is something that can even lead to like a family having a business. For example, this what I'm gonna talk about is not even the part of what I've prepared, but I'm like, there's high employment, but what I've noticed, especially when there are social gatherings like funerals or stock fails or whatever, the money that we are able to contribute to make the function be successful. I'm like, it's a lot of money. Like, we are capable of raising. Like, I've seen a lot of families, I've seen even in my family, like, we can easily, I think we can easily even raise around, I think, man, even 100K in 6 months. I think we can raise something like that. And I'm like, imagine raising 100K in 6 months, and then in the family we start to divide people. This one will like in sections or departments. This one will be on finance, this one will be on what, this one will be on marketing. Like, for example, I have skills in like advertising, branding, sound engineering, videography, and everything, you know what I'm saying? So I could be given duties whereby I specialize on that, and there are people who are good at cleaning, making place neat and tidy and everything. So there will be that cleaning department and everything. So I'm like a family of like cousins, relatives, aunties, whatever. They can be a companion, and I've always dreamed about that. Or a family can be a companion. Do you understand? Instead of having outside managers, outside whatever people you can find in a company. In a company, like, we have a CEO, we have a manager, we have a salesperson. I'm like, we can have those people from a family. Do you understand? As a family, you create a company, and everybody's given different roles, and we are what, and then we can hire labor based on whatever the business that we've managed to create and everything. But that is so impossible because of we haven't healed. We don't want to associate ourselves. We don't want to associate ourselves with certain people because of we haven't healed. They've offended us, and we haven't had the privilege of having a space whereby we can speak and be listened to, and the other person understanding where I'm coming from. Do you understand? We are not healed, and because of that, we keep on misunderstanding one another, and because of that, it contributes to weak relationships, and because of that, we can't even create such beautiful. We can't even create beautiful things like having a family companion. Do you understand? I specialize in branding and everything. My cousins specialize in security, like, you understand? Someone else specializes in sales, someone else specializes in what. It's a full company that has people in different positions, and then we hire them outside people as our labor to do whatever the service we will be specializing with. So it's one of my fantasies, one of my dreams. I'm like, man, this could be a beautiful thing, but there is a long way for us to go. So let me check on my notes. Yeah, I talked about the space shouldn't be like it shouldn't be a place for one to be defensive, but we shouldn't be defensive. We should listen to other people and hear what they have to say about us. Do you understand? And being criticized is like is a gift, because of now you know where you need to work on. Okay, you get criticized. When I listen, man, maybe we equal late one day. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm being criticized. Okay, they don't like me. Okay, so next time when I see fine, there are people around. Fine, I'll try to make some time and be around. Do you understand? So we can build one another. We can grow. Okay, but this is gonna be a very I wish this was a norm, but normally people, they don't like to do things that they're not used to. Do you understand? So this how will it be normalized? I really don't know, because of even now, even if I wanted to introduce it, how am I going to introduce it? I don't know, but I think I'm going to introduce Jesus Christ. I think I'm going to introduce it with my family. If one day I have a family, like, I'm gonna introduce such space, like, you know what, guys, you're gonna have a round table and you're gonna be honest, but you're gonna be respectful. I like to hear what my kids think about me, and I like to also tell my kids what I think about them, and we can work on that. Of course, the round table is not gonna be about, there's gonna be like, we can have two different types of round table. A round table whereby we criticize one another, you talk about the things that you don't like, and then we can have another round table whereby you compliment. You could, like, we should have diaries of writing bad and good. Do you understand? Say, okay, for as much as I don't like you playing with your phone so much, but do you remember that time when we went at the shop and what? I like what so something like that. Okay. The truth is that I think we as people had some sort of versions of round tables, but they were not structured properly. Do you understand? Like family meetings, I think each and every family now and again, or once, had a family meeting whereby they just discuss some family matters. Do you understand? But still, there's no structure. I don't think a lot of people were in positions whereby they could be fully honest. I think I was once in a family meeting, but I was there listening, but I couldn't truly be myself and express how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because there was no structure, and the purpose was not for people present to criticize, but it was to deliver a message. So yeah, so I think one of the things that can make round table to be a success is to communicate with intentions beforehand. Do you understand? You have to tell people the purpose of this round table. They have to know, they have to understand, and when they know and understand, then I think then we can take it from there. They can start now participating. Do you understand? And it could be, round table could be dope, man. It could be also a great source of content, for a family, whereby there's a couple of cameras and a microphone, and then people are just, on the round table. They just speak, but respectfully and honestly. Do you understand? Of course, there are gonna be some rules. We give one another a chance to talk. Let me just see what could I be missing. Yeah. Have some rules. One person speaks at a time. No shouting, mocking, or insults. Yeah. And then, yeah. Another important thing is that it stays private. No gossiping later. But humans, they're gonna discuss whatever happened. Another thing that I think can make this a successful another thing that I think it can make this a successful roundtable is the environment. The environment needs to be a calm environment. Here Meta says a a neutral place, like around a meal or in the living room, where everybody feels safe. Avoid doing it right after a conflict. Of course, if you're gonna try to do it after a conflict, people, they're gonna try to defend, and it's gonna be a mess. So it's not a good idea. But for now, I think I'm done. But yeah, I've always fantasized about a round table conversations whereby people are just being honest with one another. It doesn't have to happen with families only. It can happen with families, it can happen with friends, it can happen with colleagues at work, it can happen even with the community. You understand? And the purpose of that is to listen and trying to improve and see where you can improve. Yeah. So I think that's all I have to say right now. Thank you.